All right, in conclusion of the cascading style sheet, we're going to talk about the external style sheet. The external style sheet is basically an external file. You can use multiple things to key this in. You can use Notepad. I use Dreamweaver if I have it available, but Notepad's pretty nice to use. But the cool thing about the reason I showed you this earlier in the internal part is the code is structured exactly the same in the internal that is the external. So what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to copy all of this right here and cut it and put it into a Notepad document. At the top, I'm going to put a comment for myself. This is code for my CS intro. And the comment tags are there for coders and yourself when you go back in to help remind you of stuff. Now put all that stuff in here. I can delete this together here and I'll save my changes. And when I preview it, you'll notice everything went back exactly the way it was before I had any formatting. So take the notepad I just created. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to my folder. I have a CSS folder, and I'm going to name this, let's name it CS Demo Styles .css, and you need to put that .css at the end or it's not going to work. So save the changes. Now this document needs them to know where to look or how to look for that document. So first I'm going to verify that this is saved in the same folder. I see that there. See this here. Since it's in the same folder, I'm going to do what we call link code. And you can look back at your lesson for this. Link rel equals style sheet, type text href, and that's where you put your link. So let's type in our HTML document, link rel equals style sheet type equals text slash CSS href. Let's double check. Style. Is that correct? That's correct. Equals, and I named this the CSS demo styles dot CSS, and I close the bracket. Save my changes. Go back to make sure that is the file name I saved that document. CSS demo styles. That's the same now. So it's styles, not style. A lot of people will accidentally leave the S off or put the S in. It doesn't matter what you name it as long as you put the link the same. And then when I preview it, it put it all the same. Now, why would I want to do an external style sheet when I could just leave it in the internal part? Well, that's because if I decide to create a new web page with my document, all I have to do is copy and paste or rekey this one line of code and put it at the top. And every one of my web pages for my entire website will be exactly the same using one line of code. And then if I have like 10 pages in my website and I decided I wanted to change my background color to green, I can save the changes in my style sheet, go back to my Arachnophilia or your web editor, save here, preview, and it changes it. And that would have changed it for every single website. Okay, now we're going to get into one last part, and that is your class selectors. You can have different types of P, like paragraph tags. Let's say you want some paragraph tags to be left aligned, some to be right aligned, some you wanted a bigger font, some you want a smaller font. So you have a flexibility of using different types of classes. So we're going to talk about the class selector in conclusion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change in the style sheet. I'm going to have two different types. I'm going to name this one P dot right, and then I'm going to put text align colon right semicolon, and then I'm going to have another one called P dot center and I can do here, I can change this right text align to center. And if I decide to use this, let me save my changes. When I get here, I'll need to do class equals in my paragraph tag. So I'll do class equals right. Let's choose this one up here. Class equals center. And when I preview this, you'll see it right align this, and it's hard to see that I centered this, but I did center it because the word once is centered. But you're not just stuck with alignments. You can do different colors, different styles, different fonts by naming different class selectors. So this concludes our cascading style sheet. If I were you, I would bookmark the w3schools.com/CSS thing, and you have an ample amount. All you want to know about how to do styling backgrounds, background color, background image, background, and then you get to try it yourself. You keep on getting to try different things. This is a reference guide that's always available to you, and it's always up to date. I could give you a handout, but that's a waste of paper. I would just use this website that keeps up to date all the time.